I was 16 when Richard married my mom and moved us into his mansion. He was the kind of man who filled every room with his presence, the kind who saw people not as individuals but as assets. He owned Hartwell Construction, the biggest contracting firm across 3 counties. Power wasn't just something he held, it was something he reminded everyone of, every single day. Dinners were stiff, like a medieval court. He'd sit at the head of the table with a glass of $300 whiskey and talk about legacy like it was scripture. "This business stays in the family," he'd say, raising his glass toward Kevin, his golden son, the heir, the chosen one. His words hung heavy in the air, and I was invisible. My dad had died when I was 8. Mom had fought tooth and nail to keep us afloat until she met Richard at a grief support group. At first, he was a miracle. He paid our debts, moved us out of a cramped apartment, but the shine wore off quick. I graduated high school with a 4.2 GPA and asked about moving up in the family business. Richard offered me a warehouse job, minimum wage, 5 a.m. shift. Kevin, meanwhile, got a corner office after barely scraping through community college. "You should be grateful," Richard told me. "Without our name, you're nothing." That night, I stopped hoping he'd see my worth. I enlisted in the Army Corps of Engineers. While Kevin popped champagne, I built bridges in Afghanistan, learned leadership under pressure, and discovered something powerful: discipline, grit, and self-worth. When I returned home, I earned a civil engineering degree. Nights I wasn't studying, I was working graveyard shifts at Morrison & Associates, Hartwell's biggest competitor. And when Richard heard, he laughed. "You're still just a laborer," he said. "Playing in the dirt doesn't make you family." By 25, I was managing major projects for Morrison. By 30, I was a partner specializing in cleaning up Hartwell's disasters. Every contract we won from under them, every client we flipped felt like one more nail in Richard's smug legacy. Then, karma paid a visit. Richard had a heart attack during a board meeting. Kevin stepped up and drove the company straight into a ditch. Lawsuits. OSHA violations. A harassment scandal. Henderson Development pulled out. The bank called in loans. Hartwell Construction was collapsing. That's when I made my move. The board, desperate, listened. I'd spent years quietly building relationships, outperforming their contracts, becoming their contingency. I offered to buy the company, at 60 cents on the dollar. They agreed. Unanimously. Yesterday, the ink dried. Today, I walked into Hartwell Construction, not as a stepchild, but as its CEO. Richard didn't know it yet. I arrived at 8 o'clock sharp, walked past the lobby where my photo still didn't hang with the others. His assistant looked stunned. "He's not expecting anyone this early," she stammered. "Oh, he's expecting me," I said. "He just doesn't know it yet." I walked into his office, where he once offered me that warehouse job. He looked up, pale, irritated. "What the hell are you doing here?" I slid the ownership documents across his desk. He skimmed them. His hand trembled. This is a joke." "The board voted," I said calmly. "They don't want OSHA violations, lawsuits, or insurance hikes anymore." He stood up. His voice cracked. "This company was built by my family. And now it's led by someone who actually knows how to build," I said. Kevin barged in, reeking of vodka and entitlement. "What's going on?" "Your severance package," I replied, handing him an envelope. "You're fired. You can't do this." "I already did." "You didn't just lose the company, you wrecked it." "You're not family," he spat. "You never were." I smiled. "You're right. I'm not family. I'm the future." 2 security guards stepped in. "Escort them out," I said. As they left, Richard turned one last time. "This isn't over." "It's been over for years," I replied. "You just didn't know it." After they left, I called Richard's assistant, now mine, into the office. "Sarah, schedule an all-hands meeting at 10 a.m. Office staff, foremen, project managers, crew leads, everyone who can make it." She blinked, surprised. "Should I get coffee, donuts?" "Absolutely," I said. "This is going to be a long one." By 10 o'clock, the conference room was packed. Some people stood along the walls, others sat dusty from job sites. "Some of you have been here longer than I've been alive," I started. "You've built this company with your sweat and skill. Under new leadership, that's finally going to mean something." Murmurs spread through the room. "Yes, I've bought Hartwell Construction." "Yes, Richard and Kevin are gone." "Yes, changes are coming." Introduced profit sharing, safety bonuses, zero tolerance for harassment, promotions based on merit, not family name. You could feel the shift in the room. People were hopeful. That day, Mike Rodriguez, the crane operator nearly fired for speaking up about a dangerous scaffold, shook my hand. "Richard would have fired me. Thanks for making safety count." We fixed the Henderson disaster, finished it under budget. Developers came back. Staff morale exploded. Hartwell made headlines. Family firm reborn. Sarah, the assistant once afraid to speak in meetings? Promoted. New title, executive assistant to the CEO with a raise. In the weeks that followed, word spread fast. Hartwell had new leadership, new values. Developers who'd cut ties came back. Henderson Development wanted back in. The local paper ran a front-page story. Family business gets fresh start under new leadership. Employees praised the culture shift, the transparency. Sarah, who once feared speaking in meetings, told reporters, "It feels like we have a voice now." But not everyone liked it. Richard started Heritage Construction. No investors. No clients. Only 2 employees. The toxic ones. Kevin eventually washed out of Florida a year later. A young engineer named Maria Santos walked into my office with a resume and confidence that made me smile. "I heard you hire based on skill, not bloodlines," she said. "Everywhere else asks if I plan to have kids." I hired her as a project engineer. On day 1, I walked her through the Riverside site. "This is what we do," I told her. "We build things that last. We do it right." Then one autumn afternoon, Kevin walked into the lobby. Looking thin and worn down. "I need a job," he said, eyes down. "I've changed." He showed me rehab papers, therapy notes, and said all the right things. "Start me in the warehouse, minimum wage." I just want to prove I've changed. I gave him a shot, against my instincts, against company precedent. "You'll report to Maria," I said. "One incident, you're out." Period. Kevin showed up early, worked late. No problems, no excuses. Maria even came to me after 3 months. "He's doing good work," she admitted. Honestly, I didn't expect it. 6 months in, he earned a small promotion, came to safety meetings, contributed ideas, but the real test was the company holiday party. Once infamous for bad behavior, now a family-friendly event. Kevin drank soda water all night, chatted with Maria's kid about bulldozers. Later, Maria told me, "Thanks for giving him a chance to be better." 3 years after I took over Hartwell, I got a call from Patricia Wells at Henderson Development. She asked for a meeting. I expected a new project. What I got was an offer that floored me. "We've been talking," Patricia said. "Seated with reps from 3 other major developers. We want to form a regional partnership. Exclusive contracts, $50 million in guaranteed work over 5 years. They chose us not just for our numbers, but for our culture. You've proven integrity and profitability can coexist," said one exec. "We want that." It meant doubling in size, nearly 300 employees, 2 satellite offices. It was everything I'd once dreamed about while loading trucks at 5 a.m. To manage it, I needed someone rock solid at my side. I promoted Maria to VP of Operations. At 28, she was the youngest in company history. Kevin, now our equipment manager, was first to congratulate her. "She earned it," he said. "Makes me proud just being on her team." The same woman Richard would have dismissed without a second glance was now helping lead the company into its golden era. Year 4 brought our first major setback. A worker fell from scaffolding at a satellite site, broken leg. The investigation showed someone had skipped safety protocols. I flew in the next day and shut everything down. Mandatory safety retraining. We lost $75K worth it. "I don't care about deadlines or budget," I told the crew. "Everyone goes home healthy every day." That incident exposed cracks in our expansion. Some new hires hadn't absorbed our values. I overhauled training, instituted culture rotations. Every leader had to spend time at HQ. Slowly, the consistency returned. By year 5, all locations were operating at our standards. Safety stayed near perfect. Employee satisfaction remained high. Then came the call. "Richard has pancreatic cancer," Mom said. "He's asking for you." I went. Not for him, for myself. He was gaunt, pale, his voice weak. "I was scared," he said. "You weren't my blood. But you were better. You scared me. That's why I kept you down." He wheezed. "You gave Kevin a job. After everything, you're the better man. I'm proud. I just wish I'd said that sooner." And just like that, I let go of the anger. Because sometimes, letting go is the final victory. He died 2 weeks later. Kevin flew back for the funeral. Afterward, he thanked me. "Dad was right," he said. "You became everything he feared you would. Everything he wanted to be." Life went on. Hartwell grew, 300 employees, $50 million in contracts, safety awards, community recognition. Maria became VP. In year 5, we landed a $25 million downtown revitalization. The conference room where I once filled out that humiliating application was now mine. On the wall behind me, a group photo of the staff holding our latest award. No more portraits of privilege, just people, the real legacy. That night, I opened a box of fresh business cards, read one slowly. Michael Hartwell, Chief Executive Officer. For the first time, the name on the card meant something, not because of blood, but because I earned it. That night, I called Mom. She said she was proud, really proud. After the call, I wandered the quiet office. Project photos, awards, employee shout-outs filled the walls. I sat at my desk, Richard's old throne, and looked at the framed ownership papers, not a trophy, a reminder. Tomorrow we'd face new challenges, but tonight, I allowed myself to feel it. Richard had been wrong. I didn't need the family money. I built something better. I built a legacy, a family of my own, a definition of success that couldn't be bought, and that was worth more than anything.